give me a minute, and I want to address this feedback here. I did a video on the really awful situation, the incident yesterday in Russia where an Airbus 320 was forced to land. And by all accounts, all initial accounts, it was forced to land because the landing gear had failed to retract upon takeoff, which created additional drag on the plane, which then led to a low fuel situation, and they couldn't even get to the emergency airport that was going to take them in. They had to come down in a field. And the pilots, in their professionalism, did a great job, landed the plane under difficult conditions. Everybody got off alive, safely, no injuries reported, beyond a few minor scrapes and bruises getting down the landing slides. So well done to the pilots. Difficult situation. A more difficult situation to consider is the fact that the people in charge of the country are saying, hey, you keep those planes flying. We don't care that you don't have spare parts. We don't care that you can't do the maintenance. We don't care that they're unsafe. You keep them in the air and give the pretense, show the world that sanctions aren't affecting us. At the risk of the lives of our own people, because people's lives don't matter to us. That's what the Kremlin is really saying with this policy. Now, in this report, I referred to the Airbus as a French plane. Can I tell you, the trolls have really come out with all the things that you could criticize me about in that report. I literally have deleted now 100 comments just like this one and blocked the users who made them because they're not reasonable people focused on important matters, right? It's a European plane. It's not French. Fuck you. I'm an old man. When Airbus got started, it was French with a West German partner. It wasn't until much later that the Spanish and the UK came in and it became a European company, in the common market. Fuck you. Give me a break. If you think that's what's important in this story, you're a piece of shit. The lives of the people on that plane are what's important. The degrading nature of sanctions on the Russian economy is what's important. A leadership that disregards the basic safety standards and the international rules-based order, because I assure you there will not be an investigation involving Airbus into this incident. Under normal circumstances, there would be, right? But not with Russia. Just like the Brazilians weren't invited in to take a look at Eugene's plane when that went down. Because they'd find the traces of C4 that were packed in the refrigerator, wouldn't they? Now, why am I so sure I'm right? That this incident is a direct result of sanctions, and that it demonstrates to us that sanctions are working. Several reasons. One, the trolls are out in force to distract and to argue that in fact sanctions are not having an effect, that Russia's just fine. Look in the comments, there's all kinds of comments about how, the stores are full and the shelves are full and the sanctions don't work and blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, these same people, if they drove to work at the office there in St. Petersburg, they know damn well that when they leave the office, they got to sit in line for 2 hours to get gas, if there's any gas at all. I mean, really, give me a break. Then the other reason that I'm more convinced than ever that I'm right and that this incident is a direct result of a lack of maintenance and spare parts inside of Russia because of sanctions is because of the weird wealth of stories now that are coming up to explain this incident. Oh, they hit a flock of birds. That's one that keeps coming up. Can't be. This plane was cruising at 30,000 feet when it contacted the tower. So there's no birds at 30,000 feet. And we know that that's a Russian tactic of disinformation. They make up a bunch of stories and throw them all out there, each less plausible than the one before, to confuse everybody so much that everybody walks away and doesn't care. Look it. It's only one person responsible for this situation. And that is the genocidal lunatic in the Kremlin that is leading the people and the nation of Russia to their destruction. And everybody making excuses for him are like a bunch of lemmings going over the cliff. Guys, if you're still there making excuses, you should know you are rapidly approaching the edge of the cliff. You ought to think about getting the fuck out of there.